Hi all, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share important information with you about a missing 17-year-old who was reported missing on December 5th after she did not return home to Carpentersville, Illinois, after a holiday work party the night before. Police say Brissa Romero was reported missing by her family the day after she told them she was going to attend a holiday party with her coworkers at Bolero's Bowling Alley in Vernon Hills. But, according to police, Brissa never made it to Bolero's for that party. Once they found out she was a no-show at the party, they began to investigate and found Brissa on surveillance video at her job at Raising Cains in Schaumburg, Illinois, just before 7 p.m. on the day she disappeared. They say she was captured on video returning to work to pick up her iPad she had left there before she left to meet her coworkers at the party. After that surveillance video of Brissa, police were left with no leads, as they did not see her on any of the surveillance footage at Bolero's later that evening, which left her family very worried and desperate to find her. The days following Brissa's disappearance, her family said they passed out missing flyers and spoke to everyone they could to spread the word and get all eyes looking for her, but nobody had seen her, and police said her social media had gone quiet. Then, their investigation started turning up some clues. A license plate reader had picked up Brissa's plate in an area close to Bolero's bowling alley on the night she disappeared, and one of her devices pinged in that area that night as well, which led police to start investigating an area closer to Bolero's. Then they came upon the last known surveillance footage she was captured on, which they said was from a fast food restaurant on her way to the party, showing her parking her car, entering the restaurant, then exiting the restaurant and returning to her car again. Once they had evidence she had been in a specific area, they shared out that they were searching for her vehicle, a gray 2008 Nissan Rogue, and launched a massive search, which included flying drones over the area. As they searched, they realized the restaurant she was seen stopping at was just a mile or so away from a retention pond, so they decided to check the pond as well. And according to police, when officers arrived at the pond to check the area, they were alerted by someone walking near the water that a backpack had washed up on the pond's edge. Police said that backpack was identified as Brissa's backpack. So Vernon Hills Police called in dive teams to search the water, and on December 11th, 1 week after she went missing, they found Brissa's car in the pond. But police said when they recovered her car, Brissa was not in it.
Ravi, Brissa Romero's heartbroken family all gathered here at the Vernon Hills Police Department. This is where investigators announced a break in the case of the missing teen. The car of the 17-year-old was pulled out of a retention pond this afternoon, but the 17-year-old has not been found. A sad turn of events in the search for Brissa Romero, her Nissan Rogue, pulled out of this retention pond in Vernon Hills. It's believed the missing Carpentersville teen was in the car when it plunged into the water, but her body was not in the vehicle. Romero went missing 1 week ago, and late this morning, investigators refining their search in the small body of water at the intersection of Executive Way and Lakeview Parkway. That move came after police found surveillance video this morning of Romero at a fast food restaurant just 15 minutes away from the retention pond. When officers initially arrived at the pond to conduct a search, a pedestrian walking nearby told police they spotted a backpack that had washed up near the shore. That backpack belonged to Brissa, police said. According to police, it appears Brissa went through a nearby intersection, down an embankment, and into the water.
It really appears like this is a case where a driver unfamiliar with the area failed to navigate a turn and went through the intersection, down an embankment into the pond.
Brissa was on her way to a work holiday party at Bolero in Vernon Hills on December 4th, but never made it. Police launched search efforts on the ground and in the air in hopes of bringing her home. Brissa's sister, Dulce Romero, spoke at a news conference, thanking the public for getting the word out about her missing sister. Although Brissa's vehicle was recovered, Dulce says she's hoping that her sister is still alive.
Until now, in my heart, I still believe that she's out there, but for now, we'll just keep investigating and we will find her.
Police say they believe this is a recovery mission, as they believe it was a tragic accident, and Brissa was in her car when it went into the pond. As you'll hear later in the police press conference I'll play for you shortly, the vehicle's hatchback was open when they pulled it from the water, so police believe Brissa's body is in the water. But her family's holding on to hope, and they believe she's still alive out there, and they're offering a $14,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Police say their dive teams will continue searching the pond in the following days. Brissa's family is staying positive, and they need all our prayers. I'll be praying for them, and hope you will too. Here is the press conference with the latest information on the search for Brissa Romero. Stay safe out there, and thank you for taking the time to listen to her story.
Good afternoon. My name is Todd Shaver, Chief of Police with the Carpentersville Police Department. I first and foremost want to offer my thoughts and prayers to Brissa's family as we continue to search for her. On December 5th, the Carpentersville Police Department took a report of a missing 17-year-old female, Brissa Romero. We have since then continued our efforts to look for her and search for her in every way possible. Both Carpentersville and Vernon Hills have been working very closely together to conduct the search. Some of the things that we've done just to look for her are looking at her cell phone data, looking for social media, interviews. Both departments have gone around to the different businesses, checking video, checking just any area that we possibly could. Those efforts are continuing even as we speak today. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Chief Crease.
Thank you. As Chief Shaver mentioned, we've been collaborating on a daily basis, and this morning, as further analysis of cell phone data was conducted and investigators were conducting further investigation, it led us to a retention pond in the area of Executive Parkway and Lakeview Parkway in Vernon Hills. It's quite a large retention pond in that area. As the first supervisor showed up on scene to search that area, he met a resident that had been walking around the bank of this pond, and she pointed out a backpack that seemed to have floated on the edge of the pond. The police officer investigated further and found that that backpack appeared to belong to Brissa. So we started a more extensive investigation at that point, called in our partners from Countryside Fire Protection District, who requested MABUS special teams to do a further search of this area. This afternoon, that search yielded the Nissan Rogue driven by Brissa, and we've since recovered that vehicle. At this point, we're continuing this investigation, but I will share that based on the condition of the vehicle and all the evidence we have at this point, it appears that Brissa was in that vehicle when it drove into the lake. And at this point, we have not recovered Brissa, but we're going to continue every effort to do that. I want to share that one of the reasons we believe she was operating this vehicle is that just this morning we found additional fast food restaurant video footage from a restaurant not more than a mile and a half away from this scene that recorded Brissa parking her vehicle, walking into the restaurant, and walking out of the restaurant by herself, and then driving out of that restaurant parking lot. That all happened about 15 minutes before her last phone ping is registered in the location of this pond. So with that information, the condition of the vehicle, even though we have not found Brissa in this vehicle at this point, it's our belief that we need to continue to search this pond, and that is really the sole efforts of our search at this point. With the weather conditions, we're winding down just how much we can do tonight. But with that, I will give, as many of you know, Brissa's got a large family and support here. Her sister Dulce would like to have a moment to speak with you.
I do want to say thank you for everyone that has been keeping up with Brissa's story. We've been able to get so many people's eyes on this and get so much help from a lot of people from across countries, actually, to be able to help out, spread the word of Brissa. Currently, as the officer has mentioned, they have been working a lot and they've actually been cooperating a lot. So I do want to give them a little praise for trying to work with Vernon Hills and Carpersville together to find my sister Brissa back. As they've also mentioned, as the vehicle has no body inside, they will be searching the pond and to see if Brissa's body is in there. Until now, in my heart, I still believe that she's out there. But for now, we'll just keep investigating and we will find her. Thank you. In Spanish. Yeah, so quiero decirle gracias por venir aquí y hablar y tener esa historia toda siguiendo desde la semana pasada. Nos has ayudado mucho para encontrar a Brissa. Todos han conectado con nosotros para investigar más de ella y qué es su historia y qué pasó esa noche, el lunes, el diciembre 4 de la semana pasada. Al momento Brissa no está encontrada, su cuerpo al momento no está en el carro. Sí han encontrado el carro que está registrado a ella y en nuestra familia, pero no hay cuerpo. Puede tener, al momento están buscando por el cuerpo, pero en nuestro corazón sabemos que Brissa todavía está afuera viviendo y vamos a encontrarla. Gracias.
Brissa, tu esperanza entonces es de que ella todavía está bien.
Sí, nuestra esperanza todavía que está viva.
Que está viva.
So if we would answer a couple questions. Yeah, the deepest point, it appears to be just under 20 feet deep, and for much of the area where we believe the car went into the pond is about that deep.
And would you estimate what percent of the pond searched so far?
We haven't searched much of the pond. We've been focusing on the location of the vehicle and immediately around that vehicle. So.
And was the vehicle, how would you describe where the vehicle was in the pond?
The information I have is that the vehicle traveled as much as 60 feet into the pond. So to give you an understanding, this intersection is a T intersection where Executive Parkway meets Lakeview Parkway. And from the preliminary review of what happened, it really appears like this is a case where a driver unfamiliar with the area failed to navigate a turn and went through the intersection, down an embankment into the pond.
Is there any hope or belief that she is alive or survived this?
All of our efforts right now are placed in a recovery operation of this pond. The vehicle had its rear hatch open, and it leads us to believe that we're searching in the right place for Brissa.
Where is the vehicle at this point?
It's being recovered out of the pond. It was just pulled out. It's going to be towed back here to a control location where the evidence technicians can further examine this vehicle.
Do you have any idea how long it might take to search this whole pond?
Chief Actonacher, any idea how long an operation
So
might take?
We're going to continue into the evening as long as we safely can. We're hopeful that we can bring some closure to this sooner than later. But if conditions don't support a safe operation, we'll continue those efforts in the morning.
Now you mentioned how this is a
particular to a driver who's not really familiar with the area. Is this a common situation with this area? I mean, have you dealt with a similar incident in the pond?
Not that I can recall, but it certainly is a T intersection where the road ends and you have to turn right or left. And I'm aware of other traffic crashes where a driver sometimes doesn't turn right or left and goes straight through the intersection.
Are there any barricades there or anything around the pond?
No, I don't believe there's any barricades
How
located.
large is the pond? Like, total?
It's a large retention pond that was constructed as the development in that area, and I don't want to estimate it's an acre to 2 acres in size. A very large pond.
Did she have to go through something in order to get to that?
No, there's not a barrier or anything at the end of the roadway there that would keep a vehicle from driving. And this is one of the things that our officers have been doing daily and nightly since asked to assist Carpentersville Police on day one of this investigation, has been searching every parking lot and looking for signs of a vehicle traveling into a pond. We just were afraid this might be the case. They've conducted a thorough grid search of every parking lot in the village, and to the extent possible, looked at these areas of waterways near roadways that potentially was on the path that Brissa would have found herself looking for the Bolero bowling alley.
Is there any, were there any tire marks or anything in the grass?
So nothing obvious to the naked eye. Now that we know exactly where we're looking, we are seeing some images of some matting on the grass. So the investigators will be looking harder at that. But even this morning when we first located belongings, Brissa's belongings, we had staff members walking this, and it wasn't anything that we could see with easily determine that there were tire marks. It's not ruts in the dirt or anything like that.
You can talk a little bit about the reward that he offered.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Your company said yesterday that they're offering $1,000.
Chief? Yeah. Do you want to speak to the reward? Yeah. I don't think we can speak to that today.
Was the woman who was near the pond where the backpack had floated out, had she called the police about that?
No, our officer was arriving on the scene and just happened upon her, it seems like, in conjunction with her spotting this and bringing it to the officer's attention. All right, I think, we've got a lot of work to do tonight. This investigation is not over. We are going to do everything we can to continue to work cooperatively with the Carpentersville Police Department and support the family and share with them every bit of information we learn as we learn it. And I can assure you that Chief Shaver and I and our staffs will continue to update the public as information develops. Thank you.